Hello, world of YouTube. This is Mimilu coming to you from the new MMO WildStar. Wanted to give everyone out there in YouTube land a chance to see this game. I played it in beta and I thought it was really good. I've been a big fan of MMO for about 10 years now, so I wanted to give you guys a glimpse at it. I'm sure many of you saw it in the beta. They recently had their open beta weekend just before bringing the game out for the early release for anyone that bought the um, that pre-ordered the game. Those that bought the game on the normal time frame will be starting tomorrow, I believe. Uh, so I wanted to give you a look at it. If you're still on the fence, maybe this might change your mind. And if you haven't purchased it yet, hopefully this will convince you to go ahead and do so. I'm actually going to be making a series out of this. I will be picking a character, leveling it up through the ranks, so you'll get to see it as I go. I do have a main character that I will be playing offline so that I can get some idea of where I'm going and what I'm doing so I don't waste too much of your time as you watch me running around. I did play in the beta some. I admittedly did not get that far, not as far as I would like to, just due to time constraints. But I do plan on playing this all the way through to the end game. I do have a few friends that play. We will be starting a guild, so hopefully I'll be able to show you some of the end game gameplay as well. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and get started. As you can see, I'm already at the character selection screen. If you get a chance when the game starts, there is an opening cinematic. It's much like a movie trailer. It's kind of a teaser for the game. Not particularly fantastic, not one of the best I've seen, but definitely not one of the worst either. It is good. It does have it's quick, short. Will get you right into the game. Kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to be facing. Once you do that, you are brought here to the character selection screen. We have two factions to choose from: the Dominion and the Exiles. The Dominion, each one has four races. The Dominion have the Cassians, the Draken, the Chua, and the Makari. And then each class has a different set of choices for which kind, or I'm sorry, each race has a different set of choices for which kind of class they can play. You can see here the Cassian can play them all, but if I switch to the Draken, they are very limited in what they can do. And then on top of that, each player can also pick one of four paths: the soldier, the settler, the scientist, or the explorer. And each one of these has different kind of side quests and objectives that you will want to meet as you level up and go through the game. To, it helps you choose which resources you gather, as well as there are actually trade skill professions such as cooking in the game, which I will show to you when we get there. Now, my friends and I have decided that we are going to play the Exiles. We were Horde when we played World of Warcraft, so reasonably the Exiles, who are kind of the rebellion force, makes sense that we will choose them. Along the way, I am likely to make a lot of comparisons to World of Warcraft. I played World of Warcraft for 9 years, and I do see a lot of comparisons. However, this game does have definitely its own feel to it. I think it took a lot of good lessons from World of Warcraft, and I think they gave it its own spin, and I really enjoy playing it. Especially some of the World of Warcraft content gets a little stale these days. So you can see in the Dominion we have four different races to choose from, or I'm sorry, in the Exiles we have four different races to choose from as well. We have the human, Orin, Granok, and Mordesh. Now the Granok have been my favorite so far. They're kind of the big muscly rock guys. Humans are kind of your base class, kind of your balance class. Orin are more for your casting. Your DPS are probably going to be using those. And Mordesh, very similar to the undead. They're afflicted by a plague, as World of Warcraft, and they also have choices, more choices than the Orin, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so the Orin are pretty much all the DPS, whereas the Mordesh kind of have options about being the warrior, the engineer, medic, so on and so forth. So I am going to provide a support role for my friends as we are leveling up through this, and hopefully you'll get to see me playing with them as well along the way. So I'm going to choose a medic. Let's see, I will also do some quick customization here, and the first thing I want to do is change my sex, because I did not want to be female. There we go. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to go through all this with you guys. I don't want to bore you with it. But you can see that there are quite a lot of different customization options that you can go through. And you can change costumes and I believe hairstyles too once you get into the game. I didn't really play with it too much. I was focused more on the gameplay itself. So I'm going to go ahead and be a medic, and I have been a scientist and a settler. So for this one, I'm going to be an explorer and see exactly what that does for us. I have never tried it, so we'll see how that works. Now, I previously made a character just to test out some of the casting with this game and to see how the game flow goes. And it took a little while to think up a name. So if some of you are familiar with a movie or the doctor himself, Patch Adams is a real-life doctor. He was a quirky pediatrician back in the 60s, I believe it was. You should watch the movie. It's funny. It's lighthearted. So yeah, so medic, doctor, haha, funny. And let's go ahead and get in game. Cinematic's going to play, so I'll remain silent. I'll let you guys watch that, and then we'll get started.
The exiles, driven off their planets by the Dominion, have been desperately searching for a new homeworld while being relentlessly hunted across the stars. But in their darkest hour, they discovered the planet Nexus, the fabled homeworld of the Eldin who disappeared from the galaxy long ago. Exhausted, but full of hope, the exiles prepared their ancient starships for one final journey to Nexus. And that is where their true adventure begins.
I'm sorry, sir. Our last jump to the Nexus system overloaded the reactor
Just
in that
find
section.
that cryo
This ship
pod.
is more than 3 centuries
She's
old.
gotta be there. Sadie Brightland.
I know the name, Mr. Brightland.
Just call me Deadeye. Now quit arguing and get my wife out of cryo.
Internal sensors are out. Ship's records are unreliable at best. Wait, I think I found it. A functioning pod. Firing up the retrieval system. Magnetic clamps released.
Lucky for you, you found her. Sadie, darling. Hey! Hey, be careful!
Sorry. The hydraulics are leaking. Hold on. Records are wrong. This isn't her. She's in a different silo.
Fine. Then whoever you just woke up is gonna help me track her down.
Reanimation nearly complete. All vitals look solid.
Good. We're gonna need every able-bodied exile we got.
Okay, so there you go. Those are the intros to the Exile leveling experience. For those of you that are new to the game, you may notice after the cinematics that you get a long pause. Don't worry, your game hasn't frozen. For some reason, it's doing that for me right now, and I've talked to a few others that are having the same issue. Some people get it, some people don't. I wouldn't sweat it too much. Most likely it's just a bug, and I'm sure it will get resolved. But let's go ahead and jump into the questing process. So right off the bat, I'll let you know you have your normal movement techniques using WASD with Q and E as your strafing. You can also use both mouse buttons at the same time. Held down will allow you to run as well. You have a standard jump with your spacebar. You also have a double jump if you want. And then you have a dash system by double tapping one of the movement buttons. And this will help you get out of telegraphs when you see them forming under your feet. I will show you those here shortly. There will be a quest that will teach you about them.
I ain't one to ask for help.
I'm not going to go through all the quest text for you. I've gone through it. The lore in this game is actually quite good. I would highly suggest When you get it, you go through it. Hopefully, you'll want to see it after watching some of these videos. So I don't want to ruin it for you. I'm just going to kind of shoot through them. If you really want to, you can always come back and pause the video.
You get this done.
I will let you guys watch cinematics as we go, just because, you know, hey, it's part of the experience. I want you guys to see where I'm going. Alright, so this is kind of the first quest, teach you a little bit about the game. As you can see, it was really easy right off the bat. There's a guy right in front of you with a exclamation point. Your first time through, you will get some tutorials that will pop up to teach you about the game. You just hover over them and click to shut them down. And then here you can see we have a quest objective. And you can tell that because there's a cogwheel over it. So we just want to right click on that and he will activate it. You can also press F to do so as well.
You found her. Sadie, can you hear me? Everything's gonna be okay.
Okay, so as you can get the gist, we're kind of looking for Deadeye's wife. That's the guy we're following. He pulled us up thinking that we were in that cryo tube, and it turned out to be us instead, so now we're helping him. And as you can see, so here we go, we get one of those pop-ups. Watch out for hostile telegraphs. You can see these things forming, and if you stand on them when they fill, you get zapped, which is no fun. And you get cute little stars above your head. Nobody wants that. So do whatever you need to do to avoid those. Run up here and activate the cryo controls. And we get to take a look at his wife.
She ain't looking too good. She's got the cryo sickness. We need to get her to medbay, and fast.
Alright, so we found his wife, but it looks like she's not doing so hot. So we're going to take her down to the med bay. Which, on a side note there, if you guys can't tell, she is pregnant. I don't know what kind of person would freeze a pregnant woman. But clearly, whoever it was, has some major issues. I also forgot to mention earlier, you can sprint as well. By default, it's the shift key. And, oh, well, I already jumped in, but you can see there was a bar there that drains, so you get short periods of sprints at a time.
Hang on, Sadie. We'll be there soon. Gotta admit, friend, I'm surprised we made it this far. Us exiles, we've been on the run from the Dominion for a long time. And this old ship's on her last leg. Strange to think that we might just finally get a new home. I wouldn't exactly call myself personable, but I feel like if we all just stick together, we might just be okay. And I ain't above shooting anyone who thinks different. It looks like we're here. I'm obliged for your help, friend. Glad I didn't kill you.
Oh, I am also glad that you didn't kill me. Alright, so we're going to head down to the med bay to see if we can get Miss Sadie some help. Here we go. You can see a nice easy way to tell the quest turn in. Big bright check mark right above their head. No sweat.
You have news.
Talk to him.
I fear.
And now he's going to want us to go and gather some serum to administer to Sadie. And you can see, you can click on a quest objective to see where to go next. So I'll show you exactly how that works. Just click on the quest objective, and boom, gives you a little arrow, tells you exactly how far you got to go, etc. So in this case, I need to go talk to Sergeant Kara to get a weapon.
Don't waste any more time
Alright.
now.
She gives me a weapon. I'm going to go ahead and toss that on. Look at that. And now you can see the quest has changed. So now we need to go get med bots. And if we click now, you can see that the marker has changed as well. So the markers actually update as you're going through the quest, which is really nice because when you have a quest with different different objectives, you can check on which objectives are closest. You can figure out if you're missing something, where to go to find it. You have multiple objectives in different areas. You're not stuck searching in one area, not knowing what's going on. You can also see we've activated a couple abilities down here. Down along the bottom here, this bar is called your limited action set, LAS, which you will see quite often in the game. You will choose 8 abilities among the many that you will get as you level, and you can swap them out pretty regularly. And then you also, every class has kind of a special ability here. In this case, it gives me a healing shield and a buff that I can put on an ally or on myself. You'll also see here that there are some dots that have shown up in the mini-map, as well as a number. Number relates directly to the quest, so nice and easy. You know, there's number 1. That's where I got to go for number 1. And the med bots are, well, the dots are actually NPCs on the map that can be interacted with. Yellow is a neutral, and red is obviously hostile. So we'll go ahead and take some of these guys out really quick. And also, as these guys die, instead of having to loot them directly, they just kind of drop loot on the ground. So you can pick them up individually by right-clicking on them, or something that makes things infinitely faster. The V key will allow you to vacuum loot, and boom, it just gets everything in the area for you. It doesn't matter, you know, you don't have to go up and click it. It doesn't matter if you're right next to it or if you're a little ways away. You can see I'm all the way over here, and you can see the piece of loot is up here. Hit the V key, still get it. Instantly credited for it. Makes things way faster, so much nicer. That's also neat too if you're running around an area and you happen to come back through and you see that V key pop up. That means you missed something. So something laying on the ground there. Just go ahead and hit it. You'll grab it. Keep on moving. You don't even have to slow down. All right, so we got our Medbot serums. Let's administer it to Sadie. Help her feel a little better. Here we go, love. All right, talk to Deadeye. Very grateful. So he's going to send us up to get a drink with a buddy of his.
That kind of thing easy.
Because in, you know, wartime, when you're on the run, you couldn't use a drink, right? So we're going to run up here and see what looks kind of like our first questing hub. And on the way, we got to call on our Datacron, which you can hear ringing. That beeping sound you're hearing. You can press C or just click on the icon to answer it. And this is the introduction to our path. Explorer Wenny wants us to come see her, so we'll go and talk to her.
That's the spirit.
So here you go, we have kind of a questing hub here. You can see there's a lot of people. And here we gotta go get our free drink. And he'll tell us to talk to some of his friends.
Got another round in you? They ain't
Oh, I'll be happy to meet your friends. And let's see, so this is my first time with Explorer. You see right when you get close to her, you get a quick explanation. You'll see these when you get into new areas too, and they have some flavor text spoken, which is really nice. Really gives a cool feel to like the narration of the game. I really enjoy it, and they're entertaining for sure. So I want to keep those tutorials up. So let's talk to Lenny. And I have never done the Explorer quest, so I'm gonna have to see what she wants us to do.
I aim to see every corner of this
I guess nothing quite yet. No, okay.
We got us a new home to
Alright,
fight for
so
on Nexus.
now we're just walking around talking to the different
Hey,
NPCs
just the
as
person I wanted to
instructed.
run into.
We'll never go back to
Yep.
Nox.
And now we'll report back to Avra Darkos.
I must know everything. My barracudas are deployed, but you may serve my purpose.
And now we need to go deliver a Datacron. I just want to make sure we don't have anything else. Nope. So I imagine the Explorer missions will come when we get up top. Alright. Now we're up on the command deck.
Commander Stonebreaker, we've arrived in the Nexus system. Stabilizers read go for geosynchronous orbit. Preparing to launch expeditionary force.
Warning. Impact detected. Hostile ships now in range.
We're under attack! Battle stations!
Alright, so as you guys can see, the Dominion are incoming. So So we'll get a look at
Give it to
some
me straight.
combat. Gives us our first shield, and we get a level up.
Way to go, Cupcake.
Right, so shields, you'll see here on my HP bar, I'll get a little shield here. Shields recharge a little bit faster than your HP does, which is nice. So it's something constantly to help you survive. Pick up the next quest from him. And take a look at what we got for level up. So we got a new class ability, which very nicely has been already placed into our limited action slot button. So you can see here too, we got a second button that opened up for us. We got a gear slot, which they'll open pretty quickly as you level up. And some of our attributes increased. You can see here that you have tech and insight are the main attributes for medic. Depending on the classes, the different attributes are worth more to other classes. So I have an engineer, which I am currently trying to build up my brutality, which I don't know for sure is the best way to do it, but that's how I'm going to. So we're done with this. We can get rid of the notification of what we got, and let's go down and kill some Draken and some Makari. And you may remember from the beginning of the video, these are the other kind of races. These are actual Dominion races that are playable. And let's go kill some of these guys, shall we? So you may have also heard that sound, that kind of popping sound right there. That actually occurs whenever you gain aggro, which is nice, because it gives you an indication. So if you just run by somebody, you'll see an eye kind of pop up over them when you're getting close. And if you stay in that range, you will get aggro. So there's the eye. And there's the aggro. Oop, and we got a telegraph. Luckily these are quite easy, so not going to miss anything there. Alright, so let's go and kill... Let's go find some hackers. I wasn't even close enough to hit him. Look at that. Grab both these guys. Grab one more. There we go. Oh, well, so one of the things that's nice about this game is you'll see the player behind me is actually killing people too. Regardless of who tags them, we'll both get credit for them. So you see, she started that one, but I still get credit for it. Everyone gets their own loot, everyone gets their own credit for everything. It's really good. You don't have to worry about competing with people, which is really nice. There's no... I don't know if it's different on PvP servers. I haven't played on those, but I do know that it's nice on these. And so here you can see now also we can turn in quests using our datacron, which is really nice. You don't have to run back to the quest giver. There's not a lot of time wasted running around. So move on. And we will... Oop. So good. So I still have an incomplete path mission here.
Now ain't the
So
time to give up.
I hadn't even noticed. Look at that. Alright, so hit the lights. What do I want to do? I'm guessing I need to turn off some sort of lights maybe, or... Oh no, look. Wow, stuff all the way down there. I didn't even know that section existed down there, so... Let's go ahead and take a look, and hopefully I don't die on the way. Alright, so what am I doing with this? Alright, give it power, I guess. Yep. Alright, so turn that on. And turn this bad boy on. So that's kind of cool. I never had even been down here. Obviously, there's not a lot of reason to come down here. But that's really cool because now Explorer has given me a reason to, and I'm seeing something new for the first time. So that's kind of what these path missions do. They give you a chance to explore new things or to provide buffs for people. Like settlers and scientists can create things that help settlers in particular create boost stations at all the different towns throughout the world, and anyone can run up and use them, and then other settlers can extend their time or can build them as well. It's really, really cool. And then you're basically giving buffs to everyone in your faction all the time, and you get a bonus for it. Alright, so looks like I leveled up. What a surprise. Usually off your first one you'll level up, you get a title. Let's go ahead and we'll put that on. Call me Drifter. Drifter Patch Adams. And alright, so now it looks like I've got to jump up there, I'm guessing. Hopefully that'll work. Yep, so there we go. Jump up right along this way. And I'll probably aggro some stuff along the way. Sorry about that, guys. Cell phone going off in the middle of a video. Alright, and so we've transported up here. Alright, so you guys actually got to take a look at an explorer mission. You got to see some of the initial combat and some of the missions. I think we're running on about half an hour for the video, so I'm going to cut it here. Hopefully this guys gave you a little bit of interest in the game. If you like the video, please comment, like, subscribe. If you are on the same server as me, which is, I believe I'm on Micros, please feel free to shoot me a friend invite. I'll gladly, group up with you. And if you keep things clean and nothing too inflammatory, then yeah, I'll make sure that you get up on YouTube with me. Or if you just want to play sometime, let me know. We could play a little bit on some of my other characters, and possibly in the future when I have a guild, we can get a good user base and possibly run some of the end game. Other than that, I really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully I will see you in game. Take it easy.